Hello, good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Anambra Thursday edition. How are you? Did you sleep well? Look at the way Obi is shining. Like he has slept for 1 week non-stop.
Everyone is looking pretty. You know, I told you this morning when I came in. You're looking very entering high, that kind of thing.
I say I want to look entering pause, entering pause. Entering pocket, entering pocket.
Everybody's pocket is kind of sealed at the moment.
Abby, but it's just that it's empty. So you are sealing it does not make any sense. If there's something there, you won't seal it. Everybody's pocket seems to be empty.
It's more reasons why she seal it, because if there are a lot of things, if there's nothing there, you have to open it up so that something goes in actually.
Oh really? And when it's full, you seal it?
You probably not full, but once something enters, you seal. Then something coming in again, you seal again. So that's what it should be.
Stinginess.
No, it's not stingy. It's all about probably conserving your funds or something like that. So that's
Okay, welcome to today's edition of the program. We'll take a short break, and when we'll come back, we'll bring a press review. Good to have you back. Now let's begin from the stories that are making the rounds from our website this morning. Obina.
All right, stories making the headlines this morning. We see Soludo assures the FRSC of collaboration to reduce road crashes.
Okay,
in Anambra State.
Okay, Anambra State Assembly worried over adverse impact on illegal mining activities in Aguleri.
Delegation from Nigeria Institute of Town Planning visits ABS MD Moloko, task developers to uphold building principles.
Work advances on the Trans-Nkesi Boulevard One Road project on Onitsha.
Anambra governorship election, Nance endorses Soludo. A great one for the governor.
Okay. Anambra State government organizes capacity building program in Oka for school owners and teachers.
Housing deficit, business executive in Zekwe ask federal government to reduce cost of building materials.
Senate screens candidates appointed for Rivers State Agency.
147 Nigerians return from Niger.
Away.
That's a lot of numbers.
Okay, Hurricane Eric's heads to southern coastal Mexico, threatens heavy rain, strong winds, and then storm surge. That's a very bad one there. I hope they have taken precautionary measures to ensure that it's not going to be devastating.
Yeah, very heartbreaking. That area, talking about South America, they've been experiencing lots of, when it comes to heavy rainfall,
natural disasters,
flooding, natural disasters, and all that. But yes, it has to do with their natural disasters. They actually have to do with what's it called, flooding, typhoon. It's really very bad.
It's climate change. It's everywhere, but it's a kind of your own effects will be peculiar to your area.
Yeah, it's very peculiar
we are having problem of desertification here, erosion, and a whole lot of things. All of them are still under climate change. Okay, let's move on. Soludo assures FRSC of collaboration to reduce road crashes in Anambra State. I think, okay, not just in Anambra, remind me. Okay, I think that's need for that. And if you ask me, I think that's an improvement.
Yeah, there've been lots of talks about that. They need to, reduce crashes, and probably it's very important to let people, know to be careful. Do the things that you have to do. Make use of your seat belts. Don't drink and drive. Make sure you have your fire extinguishers. Make sure your tires are in good conditions. Make sure you go for basic repairs and all that. So these are
very important
things to
Don't drink and drive, especially the commercial bus drivers. Don't run as if you have appointments with death, because that's what I usually ask them. You have appointment with death? Trust me now, I will just say no traffic and park for you. Okay, move. And then I'll start following you again. Maybe you have an appointment with death and then I'm blocking you. So let me, give you a way so that you run faster. It's a very horrible thing. Well, give it to the FRSC guys in the States. Thank you very much. You're doing a good job, because I know there was a time that this Onitsha, Oka, Enugu Expressway, every day will record a very fatal accident. But it does appear that everything is coming down now. Thank you. And I think how do they put it? Once you say thank you, you have to double your efforts to ensure that there's zero crashes in the state. Okay. Any other story of interest, Obina?
A delegation visiting the MD ABS, Dr. Chris Moloko. These things are also very, very important. And also talking about the cost of, building materials and all that. It is really very expensive. We keep talking about how rents are actually skyrocketing, and many of these things. It's actually worrisome. So hope that there will be that partnership with the federal government, the state government, and other agencies, and also the private, private enterprises to bring down, the cost of housing across the country.
Growing up while we were in the north, Obina, there are places we call quarters. There's low cost there's low cost houses, what do you call high cost, medium cost, and that kind of a thing. Is it possible we'll see something like that? I'm talking to the Institute of the Town Planning that visited us. Is it possible we'll start suggesting this to the government?
Do you know?
Okay, because just like you said, you can't rent a house in Oka as a civil servant. It's not possible.
Believe me, there have been lots of talks about that. Agencies like the REDAN, that's the Real Estate Developers Association. I know many of them have been talking tough about that. But again, the thing has always been about the action. What action are they taking? Most of them are there, hands akimbo, waiting for the government to actually bring something. But the Soludo government, and this is a time whereby the government is waiting for you to also bring a solution. Okay, we are coming in. What are you also bringing to the table and all that? So some of these agencies are actually not doing that enough. So I believe if they do that, if these agencies bring something to the table, say, oh, this is where we're coming in, the government, this is where you're also coming in. They meet at the middle.
You go on lobbying trip. You lobby to get your policies.
It's not just about the lobbying. It's just bringing something, bring things that are very feasible.
It's not only you that is bringing. There are so many pressure on the government. So that is why you must devise a means of getting your own case on his table, before him. I think we have matched this story with the housing deficit. Business executive in Zekwe asked federal government to reduce cost of building materials. Very important, because that's what they tell you now. The landlords will tell you, do you know how much a bag of cement costs in the market, or a rod, or whatever they used to build a house? And then they want to collect the money, all the cost of the building in 1 year. That's why I asked them, so I know that these building materials are expensive. So do you want to collect all the money you use in building a house in 1 single year? This house is going to stay there until you live and die. And it continues.
It's not possible you build a house except you build and sell immediately. But if you're putting it for rent, it's going to be very difficult for you to actually get your money back immediately. Very difficult, because cost building, I wouldn't know the size or the whatever. It's quite cost intensive now at the moment.
You should have started building now, so that you know. Okay, Senate screens candidates appointed for River State agencies in a democratic dispensation.
It's heartbreaking what's happening in River State. Concerns are very high. We just can't keep saying more than we've said.
And somebody was asking if River State, that nothing was happening, and then was placed on what do you call it, emergency rule. So what are you going to do in Benue State? That everywhere is on fire and the governor seems not to be doing anything.
Probably the President Bola Tinubu is very convinced that Father Alia, that's the governor of Benue State, is doing enough to actually curb the situation. Probably is convinced. He wasn't convinced by the River State governor.
Was there any problem in River State? that necessitated state of emergency?
A problem was created.
That's what we're asking.
Yeah, a problem
no
was,
loss of life, nobody died. It's just you are talking.
A problem was
talking.
created. A problem that actually did affect the economy of the federal government. You know, Rivers State is known to be a major block when it comes to the economy in terms of oil production and all that. So there were reports that our pipelines were being blown up and many other things. So the presidents were felt, oh, if this
after the emergency,
if these things continue to happen, then we may not be able to probably fund some projects.
When Wike was there, they were blowing pipe. Who was the last governor after Wike? They were blowing pipes. It has always been there. This is not the first time we've experienced it in
probably
Rivers.
Wike was able to, convince the president then that he was doing enough and all that. So
okay, let's move on. 147 Nigerians returned from Niger. What's going on? Are they fighting wars? Just know. Like Nigeria, I saw somewhere. Okay, that was in the newspapers where Nigeria is planning to bring back their citizens from the Middle East. Okay, due to the crisis raging there. Okay, and now people are coming back from Niger Republic. Niger is just there. Any problem?
We don't really know, but we know that in recent times they've not been that quality relationship between Nigeria and most of these countries in the Sahel region. Talking about Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and even Chad. So we do not know much of the details. Let's
okay.
Let's
maybe until they come back, we'll ask them why did you come back. Okay, let's get to the papers now.
All right, in the papers this morning, we'll be looking at the Punch newspaper. And on the Punch newspaper, we have Tinubu assembles top brass ex-governors to end Benue killings. And then, of course, we have INEC fires back at coalition over 2027 party registration delay, and that's on page 17 of the Punch newspaper. And then, of course, a commercial on the President Tinubu.
Commercial that they paid to Punch and not to ABS.
Yeah, so
they're on their own. So let's get over to the next paper. There seems not to be anything to talk about today because of these endorsements, whether they're doing with the other one. I don't know. Okay, the Nigerian Tribune, Tinubu to service chiefs, IGP, fish out Benue criminals. Okay, let's look at the riders. Visit injured victims at teaching hospital. We are facing calculated genocide invasion. This is coming from Tortiv as he talks to the president. And then establish a special intervention fund for affected communities. And this is the governor saying now, urging the federal government, that's earlier urges the federal government, is the fund that is your business and not how to stop, to be proactive to stop the invasion. Okay, this one is a commercial news, and I think that's all we have coming from here.
All right, moving to the nation, we have new tax system to take effect on January, and we also have Zenith Bank to exit CBN regulatory forbearance on June 30th. Forced over deduction from airtime on USSD transactions. We also have Benue killings. President goes hard on security. Chiefs get the criminals, says Tinubu. Earlier, 6 state police for tortive invaders target land. So these are the major stories in front of the Nation newspaper. Others are reports from the activities of the governor of Borno State, talking about Babangana Zulum.
Okay, and then from the Daily Times, we'll have this story. Benue Tinubu sets up elders committee, demands land for ranching. Abbas visit to Yelewata. Okay, let's get it. Tinubu sets up elders committee, demands land for ranching. So it is the land that is the problem. Must you kill me before you demand for the land? Abbas visit to Yeletawa, and why did you abort the visit? Yesterday was for Benue State. You're supposed to touch everywhere. Down here, Israel-Iran crisis. Nigeria moves to evacuate citizens, urges end to hostility. Nnamdi Kano's inciting statement responsible for mass violence in Southeast, DSS. Witness, U.S. visa ban on ECOWAS nations, threatens trade deals, security gains. This is coming from Tuga. Okay, maybe okay, not yet. Okay, that's all. That's all coming from
All right,
here.
moving to the Daily Trust. We have bandits kill 24 farmers, others in Katsina communities. And we also have how fake agri-credit providers dupe farmers. We also have World Sickle Cell Day. Patients battle high cost of drugs, access to treatment. Benue killings, arrest perpetrators. Tinubu orders security chiefs. And of course, the reports from Borno State continues on the Daily Trust newspaper. And then we'll move to the Vanguard.
From the Vanguard newspaper, we'll have the story, Benue killings. We will confront land grabbing head-on to bring peace. This is coming from Tinubu. We're making arrangement for ranches. Okay, down here, Rivers Park Estates, court restrains IGP, EFCC, head, IGP monitoring unit, Fakorede, from alleged rights violation and obstruction.
They'll move to the Guardian newspaper where we have Rivers Park Estate court restraint IGP EFCC from alleged rights violation. World Sickle Cell Day, carrier stakeholders bemoan high cost of care, health insurance omission. Gowon denies prior knowledge of July 1966 counter coup. We also have reactions trail Tinubu's Benue visit, land grab remark, rising IDPs, and that's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Moving away from the Guardian, we'll move to the Daily Independent.
Now, from Daily Independent, I think we'll have more explicit account of the president visit to Benue State. Okay, Benue massacre, Tinubu orders security chiefs to hunt down killer herdsmen. Let's look at the riders now. Ask Governor Alia to constitute peace committee. The second one says direct him to make land available for ranching. And they co-opt ex-governors into think tank for enduring solution. Alia asks for special intervention fund for affected communities. Down here, equity market soars by 1.18 trillion naira, highest daily gain in 2025. Zenith Bank reassures stakeholders, investors of continued dividend payment. Benue killings, we are on the verge of being completely annihilated. This is coming from MBF. What's the Middle Belt Forum? Okay, yeah. That's the MBF. Okay, TCN owed 457 billion naira as power sector debts mount. INEC cannot cancel PDP NEC meeting, CP, and then PDP. The story is becoming interesting. Demands investigation on INEC acting secretary. Okay, very interesting, because sometimes you start asking, are there human beings in that political party? Okay, here, journalists in Akwa Ibom face rising threats of cyberbullying and harassment. Okay, any other story of interest?
No.
Federal government, state, local government share 1.659 trillion naira for May. Trillion naira. Okay, that's all. That's all we have for you this morning. Let's look at some of the stories of interest, beginning from Benue State killing, Benue massacre.
The president has not been convinced that it is a massacre. He believes it's a communal clash. Communities, headers, and the community.
When you keep people in hundreds in a day,
so
in one swoop.
One swoop. Yeah, the president has not been convinced that this is actually.
So he needs them to die in millions before he gets convinced. Is that what you mean?
I do not know what will take him to be convinced about the situation. However, the top thief, of course, he's come out to tell the president, this is not a communal clash. This is not skirmishes or something like this.
It's a genocide.
This is a genocide. This is premeditated. This is properly organized and all that. So the question comes to what the governor is doing. Lots of questions about that. How his demeanor, his postures around the president seems to be one of someone who is, sorry to say, someone who is boyish, someone who is not really ready to, someone who seems frightened, someone who doesn't really know what to really do about the situation.
Who?
The governor of the state.
Okay, Alia.
Alia. So it's actually heartbreaking what's happening in Benue State. And
Alia, the kind of role that he's playing, it's very suspect. suspicious, if you ask me.
Yeah,
because I don't know why he should stop young people from protesting the killing in the state. What does he want to achieve? That there's peace, there is no killing. Why were you stopping the people that are protesting? Not just that. You fired your CPS because he joined in the protest, your chief press secretary. So are you not complicit to what's going on? Are you not creating a forum for suspicion?
Yeah, of course. Everyone has to be suspected in whatever is happening in not in Rivers State, in Benue State, from the president to the governor to the security agencies. So everyone is in serious suspicion. But at the very well, I understand Father earlier. In terms of chaos like this, you need you need that sense of calm. And you need people around you to.
It was a
give
peaceful
you that
protest. They were not
armed,
just carrying placards.
Yeah, I'm not talking
we
about.
are dying.
Yeah, I'm not talking
people
about.
come to arrest me. It was that protest that kind of attracted the president's visit.
Yeah, I'm not.
So why were you stopping them?
No, some say
you couldn't use helicopter to stop the headers.
Yeah.
Then you are using helicopters to stop the protesters.
Yeah, some say.
What kind of thing is that?
Yeah, some say it's not even the protest. Some say the presidency had to make move when. There was a report from Rome where the Pope had, mentioned Yelawata community before the presidency had to make move about this. So these things are actually
it's pressure.
Yeah,
all of them are pressure. So the Pope talked, and then the people protested, and a whole lot of things. It's pressure.
So these are some of the things. Let's hope that this actually does stop. Benue has over the years been subjected to these killings from Agatu to Boko. To many of these regions.
Yelawata.
Yeah, and very recently Yelawata. So it's actually heartbreaking.
Okay, now the president is talking about ranching. Because the first statement that he has made was go and make peace with the headers. The headers that intelligence report has said that they are not even Nigerians. So they are invaders. They came to invade our lands and then take it over and settle. They are asking the indigenes to go and make peace with invaders that came from another country. And now he's asking for land for ranching. Give them land for ranches if you want them to stop killing you, because that's just what that statement means. If you want them to stop killing you, give them land for ranching. Are they even ready for ranching?
Yeah, so these are some of the statements. These are the, when we're talking about, when we're just discussing about this earlier, I said that's why everyone is being suspected, security agencies, the state government, the federal government, and all that, because you cannot, in situations like this, although his reports say he's been able to direct the IGP and security agencies to fish out these headers.
That's what we've been hearing from the time of Buhari.
So, but
nobody has ever been arrested.
Exactly, but telling people
all those terrorists, nobody.
Settle,
if you arrest one today, they release them
telling
tomorrow.
Communities to actually go settle with people who actually oppressed you, killed your people. It may have sounded really very insensitive.
Honestly, I saw somewhere, maybe we jumped to somebody that was saying that 20 members of his family was killed. I saw it in this paper.
Someone
I don't know
said, a report said
a
woman lost 5 of her children.
Look at that.
So a lot of them. So
how do you start making peace with your
how do you
killers?
make peace with people? So these things are
you are not owing them anything. They're not from your community.
Yeah,
they're invaders.
And even the governor had
they're not even Nigerians.
Yeah,
if they are, they should have a state of abode and go and live in their own state.
And the governor had even had to say on live TV that he does not support self-defense. So these statements are one that are quite worrisome.
So you want me, as I see invaders coming to my house, I should hold my hands and allow them open? No, I should open my hands and say, okay, I'm waiting for you to come, kill me.
We wouldn't
there
know.
are things you don't say,
we wouldn't know what to
and
make
you don't even do.
We wouldn't know what to make of these,
honestly.
development and all that.
Okay, let's also look at the PDP issue. Yesterday, we saw where the story was that INEC refused to recognize their NEC, their NEC meeting that was going on, the 100th NEC meeting. And this morning, we saw it somewhere else that it's not true. Okay, was it a stalwart in PDP was saying that not even INEC can stop us from this convention? So what exactly is going on in PDP? Or between the PDP, Wike, and the INEC?
It's just what is happening in other parties. It's not just about the PDP. It's also, even within the APC too. But very recently, in the talking about the opposition, the PDP, lots of issues in the PDP, lots of issues in the Labour Party, and many other parties. So these are the uncertainties that have come with the new government, whereby they're trying to infiltrate the parties, trying to destabilize them or something like that. But coming to the PDP, Wike is always about it's about his influence. He doesn't want anything to touch his influence. The influence he still has on the party. Of course, he's still in government. He's still very powerful and influential. He's still very we wouldn't know. So these things are just there. It's all about personal interest and also political interest. So
why should it be personal interest when lives are involved, when citizens of this country are involved, when you have left governance for politicking? Nobody cares about what's happening with the citizens. You are busy, looking after your selfish interest. You want to remain in power. You want to remain in position. And then you don't care what happens to the citizens that you have been elected or appointed to take care of their welfare. People are dying of hunger, dying of violence here and there. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about governance again. It is politics, politics, politics. How did you get there? Is that the way to run a nation?
It's not the way to run a nation, but of course, I won't say it's just a Nigerian thing. I think it's an African thing. Very few African countries, aside probably the northern part of and then South Africa, very few. What we've seen in West Africa, it's actually heartbreaking in terms of politicking and all that. Little or no, like you said, little or no interest about the welfare of the people you're leading. Focus on staying in power, money, and and other negative politicking and all that. So we can't, whatever we are going to say this morning, we've said it before, nothing new. So we are going to we just have to keep talking. Probably the more we say, the more we say, we hope that things get better. But from what we've seen, from 1960, people have been even before 1960, people have been talking till now.
We stopped talking. That's why God gave us mouth to talk.
So
and it's this talk that will bring the pressure on the people there. By the time they notice that everybody is talking, that's why we shouldn't stop talking. You tune this place, they're talking. You tune there, you listen there, they're talking, and then you sit back and ask yourself, am I the problem? Am I the cause? And then you see what to do. That's just it. Okay, any other story of interest? Okay, let's look at this story from the Nation newspaper. Fuse over deduction from airtime on USSD transactions. I think we started saying this story since 1 month ago now, and a lot of us don't even know what they're deducting and how they're deducting, that kind of a thing. But some people have time to look at that. What is the position of those of them that are supposed to be talking about? Taking care of the people that you're supposed to. We have agencies that are supposed to manage these people, the NCC and whatever. What are they doing to ensure that the subscribers, the end users, are not cheated at all?
The truth for the telecom companies, it's not just about. We saw during the Buhari regime, we saw increase in data subscription. We saw it was a period where we also saw cheaper data and all that, but. Of recent, very recently, where they talked about new VAT, that's the value-added tax on whatever we consume in terms of data and all that has increased and all that. You cannot even buy cheap data now. If you buy it for a long time, you see that the telecom communication company actually switches or something like that. So it's on the federal government to work with these telecom communication companies. Reduce the taxes, allow them breathe, because whether you like it or not, companies have to make money, because whatever amount these guys are making, they are seriously being taxed by the federal government. So they have to be, the federal government have to give them tax cuts and mandate them to actually provide cheaper data and cheaper services to Nigerian customers or Nigerian, to Nigerians basically.
The end users.
And users.
Okay. Well, we don't have much to say, because whether you agitate or not, once there is endorsed in the National Assembly, people that you send to represent you, that will never come back to you to ask you what's your opinion, That's something that we are discussing in the house about this, and that. What is your opinion? So that when I go with the opinion, the person that is from Zamfara comes with there, and the whole lot of them come, then we put it on the table and see whether the people that we are representing are, whether we are really carrying them along. Okay? Because we should have opinions. That's why we sent you to represent us. You don't just go there and get settled and then you do whatever you want to do. Yeah, when I say get settled, you know what I mean by getting settled. Even the things that you know that is not good for your constituents or for the people that really elected you to go and represent them, you go ahead and be doing it because of personal interest. You know, you go there for yourself, your family, your pockets, and your accounts, and not minding whether it's okay. And then another tax is coming. Did you see that one? I think I saw that.
Taxes are coming.
Okay.
Taxes are coming. Every day, taxes are actually increasing.
That's I saw it.
You know, Nigerians may not have issues with, you know, being taxed if after your taxes are being collected, you see the tax, you see the money at work. You know, like we're seeing in some southeastern states, like here in Anambra, in Enugu, and some other states. We're seeing tax money being put to work in Abia State too. So probably people may not complain so much, but the problem is always when taxes are being collected and you see the government spending on things that are irrelevant. About 39 billion naira was spent on an ICC, you know, on ICC in Abuja a few days ago, and money is being spent recklessly. It's actually heartbreaking. We know that sometimes money is, but
when most members of the family are not sure of their next meal.
So these are some of the things. If you cannot properly make use of money, give people tax cuts, give people
governance is not all about taxing the people, pressing the people down, because that's exactly what they're doing to us. You know, pressing you down. You pay tax and pay tax and pay tax until you don't have anything to eat. You make the little money they pay you as a civil servant, all of them goes into taxation. So what is left for you? Why are you working? Why are you working? Is it not to take care of you and your family? And when that money cannot go home because a lot of deductions here and there, deduct these people, they will deduct from electricity, take it from telecom providers, take it from everywhere is tax. What is left for the person that is paying that tax? Okay, and then this is what is killing a lot of businesses too, as they are taxing individuals, they are taxing companies, and businesses are folding. You don't care. Because of your tax regime, businesses are folding in your state, folding in your country. You don't even care. So what are we going to do to generate the money to pay you those taxes?
Because once businesses are leaving, businesses are shutting down, it means unemployment is going to increase and all that. And
nobody cares.
Once unemployment increases, we are going to see criminality also increasing. So these are some.
They hear that the taxes, the government is being run by taxes of the people out in a civilized climate. Everything has been put in place in the developed world. So when you pay the tax, you don't feel it. Everything has been put, every ammunition you need to live a good life, you don't build. You don't struggle to build the way we build. Okay, except you want. Everybody is taken care of. Even if you are not working, you are being paid. You don't see those ones. It is that most of the civilized climate are run by taxes. That's the only one you hear. It's okay. Let's continue. I think that's all we have to say for this morning on the press review. You do stand by because we'll have
the discussion segment of the Good Morning Anambra.
What do we even have?
Yeah, we'll be discussing about of course, something very much related to gender-based violence. You want to know what it is, stay tuned, don't go anywhere. When we bring you the discussion segment, we share with you what we have for you this morning. Of course, IJ is still here, myself still here, and then when the guests come in, we'll bring you the discussion segment of the Good Morning Anambra.
Okay, do stand by.
Did you know that the act of forgiving has such a profound impact on you? Psychologists say benefits range from improved sleep to longer life expectancy. But however much the term has been used in many narratives, forgiveness is still something that is easier said than done. The BBC's Seydina Alionjigo is in Mauritius with more about the act of forgiving. Take a look.